Female streamer has lost touch with reality. We just seen this video drop like 10 minutes ago. So let's get into it while it's hot.
I'm coming to get my son tonight.
You're not coming that way. No. See, you got my baby all upset. You said you was coming back. You said you was going to the store and you never came back.
3 days later.
And so it's just really fucked up because I actually really loved this space that I was in. And they didn't even give me a warning or nothing.
Look what you're doing in the space. Like, I see if you own it, you're doing it like your house or something you own, bro. Like, I would have flipped shit too if I was a landlord or owner.
Jordan, they shouldn't give you a warning. With streaming becoming ever so popular, everybody is wanting to get their hands in the dirt and really dig deep and attempt to do some sort of streaming content. Now, no, that doesn't mean that they want to do some of the old world things like the Destinies or the Moist Criticals of the world used to do. They don't want to be the Ludwigs. They don't want to be the Mystics. They don't want to sit down at a desk, play a video game, and react to videos all the time. They want to be innovative. They want to be creative. And I commend them for that. But Jordan Lucas is an example for a lot of the creators out there that when you do streaming and you transition to that IRL prank fun streaming world, you have to be very, very careful. This is internet personality Jordan Lucas. She hails from the Deshae Frost camp. As far as I understand, that's his ex-girlfriend. And she has a pretty sizable following across all social media platforms. So naturally, seeing how everybody else at their mama is having fun streaming, she decided to stick her toe into the game. Now, she had been seeing a lot of success in the streaming game. On her first stream, she had hit her sub goals. She had a lot of guests and friends from her life like Cleo and Deshae pop up and pop out. She'd been making music, you know, doing the normal streamer things. Now, with the normal streamer things, that does mean you have to up yourself, and that's where the farm got introduced into the situation. Now, as you can look and see in the background, she is at an apartment, and it's clear as day. And when she bought those farm animals in there, I've been in a few apartments. I don't know how many farms you can have in an apartment, but she's
The person in an apartment right now, that's a no. Instant no, bro.
saw the ramifications and the backlash of having a farm, a literal farm, like goats, chickens, hay, a pen, all those things in her apartment. She saw her world come crashing down after that.
So it's like I just moved and it's so stressful having to deal with like me trying to learn a new craft and also trying to settle in. And then also I want to be like on time for you guys. Usually, you know, I'm not late or anything like that. It's like I just want to give you guys the best content that I can, you know, so that we can like build as a community together. I'm just like, I don't know if there's anything that I can do to combat it. Like, I'm pretty sure there has to be, like, 7 days is crazy. Like, it's Valentine's Day. Like, we have to, like, where's the love?
She got evicted.
Why do people do dumb shit and then play the victim when, like, they get their consequences? Like, did my landlord specifically tell me, Bray, you can't have farm animals in here or a mini farm? No, they didn't tell me that. But common sense tells me that's not like, no, like, like, come on, bro.
With a 7-day notice. Full stop. She has to be out of her place in 7 days. Now, I know a lot of people aren't gonna like this. Maybe some people are, because as I read the comment section, they seem to be on my side, but the apartment has every right to break her lease and kick her out in that time frame. Now, I know it's fucked up and I know it's a quick turnaround, but ultimately, I'm almost 1,000% certain without reading any contractual agreements that there was nothing that said that she could have brought in those types of animals. I know for a fact this isn't something that she went ahead and cleared with her leasing office or the management company. Even if they said no, she would have at least been able to keep them in the loop so she doesn't get blindsided like this when things do happen. Or hell, even before she signed the lease off, she could have made it very clear and very known that, hey, I am a streamer. I am going to be doing different things in my apartment. I am going to utilize my place and space as a content creation space. The thing about getting into an apartment is that it's very communal. The hallways are shared, the elevators are shared, the common rooms are shared, the walls are usually thin, the floor is usually somebody's ceiling. And I think
Most definitely, because, and it's crazy, some people are just petty too, living in an apartment, because I got a noise complaint when I moved in for my music being like semi too loud, right? They gave me a noise complaint for that. I had a whole Halloween party here. It was 100 times louder. Like, one of my neighbors told me that I work with, she was like, "Yo, I can hear you from my building." She's like 2-3 buildings over. So I don't get a noise complaint for that. Like, it's crazy.
a lot of people forget that. So no, that doesn't mean that you can do anything and everything just because it is your place and your space. And it definitely doesn't mean that you could, I don't know, bring Wilbur and whatever type of lambs and chickens and hogs and dogs and frogs and logs up into the place. It looks like she has an apartment on the top, but I'm already sure that you are stress testing these people with the noises that you're making, let alone bringing in any sort of foreign objects and different things like that.
Jordan gets evicted for having a farm in her high-rise apartment. Nah, girl, you knew dang well. Them folks, apartment folks, rental folks, whatever you want to call it, you know them folks don't play that stuff. They already be tripping about dogs and cats, and you gonna bring a farm.
I'm telling you, when I first moved in here, I basically had a dog I was taking care of. And I was telling the lady, she was like, "You have any pets?" I said, "Oh, I have a dog." She was like, "Oh, you got to pay a $300 pet fee and this and that and this." And I'm like, damn, I mean, I don't want people to have pets. Like, damn.
Farm up in that hole? So you mean to tell me you just bought Wilbur and friends in your apartment and was like, yeah, this finna be fire right here. Then paying the rent 3 months in advance, knowing you was finna do some crazy stuff. Like, y'all need to stop doing all this crazy stuff for social media. A whole farm, I can't believe this, a pig, a goat, like, not a cat, not a dog, but a whole farm. Come on, my good. You knew better.
Sometimes streamers get a little bit entitled. They feel as if they spend money or they have some celebrity or some sort of fame or clout, that means that whatever they do is justified because they pay for it, they bought it, and this is the way to grow. But honestly, that's not the case all the time. People have different rules and different boundaries that should be respected. Not to be some sort of fed, but I don't even know if she came to an agreement with her neighbors or her building that she was going to be showing it off in this sort of way, shape, form, or fashion. There are places that even have harsh restrictions on filming, period. Because people, creepos, can look out that background in that window, see exactly which apartment complex that is based off of mapping and the geographics in the background and start to be vagrants and loiterers at the apartment complex in an attempt to see Jordan Lucas and any other celebrity, which ultimately disrupts the day-to-day life and actions of all the other people that are living in this apartment complex.
New York is an unlivable place for a content creator. Because once you get to a certain size, it's brutal, bro. Niggas was camping outside the house in cars, trying to take flicks. Like, no cap, every time we came home, it was like a photo shoot. And we tried to keep it low key. The penthouse was even worse, chat. By the third day, it was gatherings of people giving us merch, trying to ask us to take photos, giving us their IG. Once niggas know where you live and it's not that hard to find it, they will stand outside your spot, bro.
I think right now streaming,
That's some crazy shit though, bro. Because I know they talked about a guy breaking into the AMP house and they put the beats on him, but like, you gotta be a crazy person to like somebody so much that you think breaking the law is normal. Like, what do you mean you broke in their house because you wanted to hang out with them? Like, bro, what are you talking about? Like, that's crazy to me because especially in the South, like where I live, you get shot for that. You know, stand your ground law or whatever they call it. Like, you can get shot for that.
Has a very, very bad rap. Now, of course, you have your outliers. I think people think that Kai Cenat is probably a net positive in the world. I think they might think of some of the FaZe Clan as like a net positive in this world, but ultimately they think that that's a positive from the computer aspect. They don't necessarily want to live around it or be around it or have it disrupt their day-to-day lives. And then when I think about all the IRL streamers that take things just a little bit too far and they disrupt people's natural lives, I can totally understand why people wouldn't want Twitch streamers, Kick streamers, or any sort of IRL or content streamers being around their places and spaces. Not only can it be potentially destructive in some situations, but it can also just be a nuisance. Like, I have my own place. I've paid a lot of money for my own place. I don't want these kids running up and down this hall and doing their own thing. And there are some realities for streamers to face because some of their peers are doing these destructive and disruptive things. They are causing property damage. They are wrecking and destroying other people's property. A lot of these streamers rent out Airbnbs or go to other people's establishments, and these content creators don't necessarily respect these places and spaces. And because there is such bad publicity, a lot of these good streamers are gonna have to face the ramifications and repercussions of what the people of their past did. Even if it means people are jumping to conclusions and kicking you out of a place and space that you're not doing anything bad in.
It's tough out here, chat. We've been getting iced out. Like, I feel like all the landlords in New York City probably got together.
I mean, Adrian got to be real though. When it comes to AMP and how they be moving with the fireworks wars and the splat guns and just all types of crazy shit they've done in that house, like, I would be kind of looking at them sideways because I remember with the fireworks war, they damn near or basically did set their mansion on fire. So yeah, I'm looking at y'all like, what y'all got going on, especially with Kai, the crazy shit he be on. I don't know. Yeah, like, of course it's gonna be tough.
They're in a big meeting of some sort, a cahoots, some would say, and they've made it very difficult for us to find a spot. Realistically, it's not that hard to research us blowing up our house, and that's just the way shit cookie crumble, man. So hopefully that shit gets all figured out soon.
Hell, I can even remember my time working with AMP or any other IRL content creators and trying to carefully craft the perfect email or phone conversation in order to let them know that, hey, we're gonna respect your place in space. No, we're not like some of these other people that are destroying property, and that we're gonna come in and we're gonna try to boost and amplify your business or whatever the case may be. I'm not gonna lie, especially back then, 99% of the time, I could not get it off. Now, I think it must be much easier now because of the star that they've grown into, but it was so hard because streaming just had such a bad rap back then, and it still has a bad rap today. Now, with that being said, Jordan and any other content creator that's going this streaming route, you have a responsibility on your own when it comes to being just forthcoming. Yeah, I know you're gonna get a lot of no's, but once you get that yes, the burden will just be lifted off your shoulders. And as streaming becomes more and more popular, I think the number of yeses will be more and more available. But the problem is when people don't become forthcoming with who they are dealing with when it comes to making these sorts of transactions. Try to ensure that the person that you're renting from, borrowing from, using their establishment, that, hey, I'm gonna do something for you. It's gonna be mutually beneficial because I don't wanna just be looked at as potentially destroying your property. I do have insurance. I have insurance that can cover your different things, different damages and stuff like that I may cause. Even if you don't plan on doing certain things that may cause damages, if I were to rent an apartment right now and I knew I was just gonna be behind the desk, but I also knew that I was gonna be a streamer, I would let them know up front, hey, I am gonna be streaming. This is some of my content. They're probably not gonna look at it either way, but I also do have insurance that covers up to this much, because all they hear is streaming and they have their own mind going somewhere. But this insurance thing will just give you another level of security. I would also
Yeah, I mean, I actually agree with him 100% on this because it's like if they know up front, it's a lot more difficult, especially when it's documented, get this documented, than, her situation where she probably didn't tell them anything and then she has a damn farm in her apartment. So, yeah, like, I'll definitely say if you're going to be moving like Kai, yeah, let them know up front, show them some of your content. You might get some no's from places because, noise complaints and other disturbances, but I agree with him 100%.
advise getting a house. I know that that's harder to do than, I'm saying, but this is also why content houses did exist and why I do think that they will be much, much more accepted going forward. I know that they have their ups and downs, their lefts and rights, but ultimately you have freedoms and liberties that a lot of other content creators don't have. I think this is a learning lesson for Jordan and any other content creators and streamers that, hey, the public still does view you a certain way, but that doesn't mean that you can't do things to probably aid and protect and make that situation just be a little bit more seamless than how it is already. She'll bounce back. She'll land on her feet. Get that content.
Yeah, hopefully she finds a new place, and I think she learned her lesson. It really sucks that happened like that. But yeah, man, y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. See you on the next video. Peace.